Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Inside Fitness Radio presents Total Fitness Podcast. My name is Matthew,
Mine is Walter.
and today we were talking about the man himself, Wolverine, Hugh Jackman, and his denial and partaking in any substances that would put on muscle or increase a performance
That are slightly illegal.
slightly. So here's the article. It's not like crazy in depth. It's just him denying the fact he ever took it. And you go and you read it, and it's over the years, people have wondered, did he juice? Well, did he actually take steroids? And his response was, no, I love my job and I love Wolverine. I have to be careful what I say here, but I have been told anecdotally what the side effects are. And I was like, I don't love my job that much. So no, I did it the old school way, eating chicken. Uh-huh. And then you go through and it's just some other parts about how he never even heard of Wolverine before he actually filmed Wolverine, which I thought was kind of funny. But the main point is Hugh Jackman denies ever taking a performance enhancing drug for the role of Wolverine. And I want to call bullshit on that. I don't, this is just my opinion. My opinion. I'm not saying anything else aside from that, but I am saying, in my opinion, I think he is lying about his denial and taking steroids.
Okay. Me too.
How come?
I mean, we both know what a jacked body on steroids looks like. We know how hard it is to put on muscle and get that kind of definition. And I will say that the man has probably got a fairly good metabolic rate. He's a dancer, an incredible dancer. His musical performances are amazing, but his musical performances are a pretty average body. And Wolverine never had anything close to an average body. I don't see how he could switch that on that quickly.
And I mean, yeah,
I mean, come on, the one on the right, the far right, yeah, that one. I mean, there's no way that's natural.
no, with how lean he got, with how vascular he got. And again, you have to remember, like, he looks this way throughout the movie. Now, if he had just, and again, even this, it's still, to me, is not crazy. Maybe at this point, it's just maybe something like TRT. I don't know, right? There's some other videos and photos where you see him and you're like, he's definitely taken tests. He's taken Masteron. He's taken some sort of, maybe even an oral just to dry himself out, or maybe he dehydrated. Obviously, there is a thing called lighting. There's a thing called editing. And, there's a thing called a pump, right?
Yeah.
But again, you look at his transformation, and I know this was what, 2002, 2001. This was like 2013, 2012 he filmed this. So yeah, there's a lot of years of training and all that. But as Walter said, I mean, he goes from crazy jacked, super lean. And he has tons of videos on when he was actually training for these roles where he was actually lifting like crazy amounts of weight, doing like 500-pound deadlifts, which I'm not saying is impossible for a natural. But a couple months back, it didn't even seem like he was training because he was starring in a dancing role or a singing role or a more dramatic role.
It was doing The Boy from Oz, which was an incredibly difficult dance-oriented show. He did not have that musculature for that,
No,
and to go right back from A to B, which is less muscular, back to A like that. Yes, there's time that he could have matured his muscles, perhaps.
Yeah.
But he wouldn't get that big and that pumped again that quickly.
No, and I mean, you look at him here,
Yeah.
that's honestly natural. Like, it's
Yes.
not that bad. And again, you could make the argument that this is good lighting, he's lean, yada, yada, yada. And I totally agree with that. But you have to remember one key factor. These guys are paid millions upon millions of dollars to look a certain way for a role in a short amount of time. Like, he never goes crazy out of shape. But again, you see these guys that look the way he does. The Rock is a great example of it. I don't think The Rock's ever denied taking gear, but he is
No.
obviously and clearly on some sort of performance enhancing drug. A, because he's just incredibly muscular. You can't, I don't care how good your genetics are, you do not get that big without any sort of performance enhancing drug,
You
right?
don't
And you can,
maintain it at that age, that's for sure.
and at that age, and I mean, you could look back and you could say, well, he was a big dude, but look at him in what could be considered his prime years of the early 20s, early 30s. And then you look at him in his what, he's 50 something now?
Yeah.
Like, come
He
on.
just turned 60, didn't he?
No, he's like 55, I think. I could be wrong on that.
No, he's on Muscle and Fitness magazine or Men's Health magazine
Oh,
this month.
oh, there you go. We don't
Yeah.
approve of those type of magazines out here.
No.
um, another guy, John
I
Cena. I
saw it
don't
at the drugstore.
that's it. I don't think he ever again denied it, but this was when he was 21.
Yeah.
Like, look at that. Look at him now. Like, he's obviously done quite a heavy amount of PEDs over his career. Sure, maybe now he's downsized a little bit and maybe he's just on PED or like a TRT. Again, when you're doing it for this long and you're doing it for what, he's 40 something, almost 50.
Yeah.
You do it for so long and you train and you eat really well still. Again, you have to train and you have to eat really well still. But over the years, like, yeah, you are going to maintain that muscle on CRT. You might be a little bit more fluffy. You might be a little bit smaller, but yes, you will maintain that. And again, I've said it before. I think once you've gone on a cycle, you aren't natural anymore. You've done a cycle. You hold on again. Especially a lot of these guys don't just do one cycle, right?
Hmm.
So again,
Definitely not.
you can make a heavy argument that he is natural. It's good lighting. He was just training. He leaned down. He dehydrated. I agree with certain points in that. Again, I'm kind of split in this in the sense that I think he was probably on like CRT. How hard you have to train for this role, what you have to do for this role in that short amount of time to be able to stay at that lean of a body for the course of his whole movie film, which what I think 3 to 6 months maybe
Yeah.
that they were filming, and they're doing a lot of these back to back, like when the X-Men's were coming out and Origins and all the Days of Future Past and all that, like they're doing it back to back, right?
Absolutely.
So you get to that point where it's like, okay, he's probably maintaining it somehow. Maybe he had to take a cycle at some point just to get to A, and now he's at B, but he's done that throughout having to take any other cycles or something. Again, it's up for debate. He could say he denies it, and that could be very well true. I think, in my opinion, that he has done something in the past.
Well, I mean, other than looking at blood tests throughout the years, there's nothing we can prove. But I think that visually it's there that
Yeah.
something has had to help
I mean, even
along the
with
way.
blood tests, though, you can easily fake a blood test. I mean, look at how many
Oh, there's that
athletes
too.
do that, right?
There's that too. But I mean, and even then, the fact that you know, as he was getting older, his body was getting better, and he's reached the point where he's at an age where that shouldn't be happening without some kind of help. I mean, I
Yeah.
know what the body can do and what it can't do past the age of 40, 50 years old,
Yeah.
60 years old, right?
Yep, exactly. And I think people forget that, right? Your body does slow down. Male testosterone levels start dropping off in your 30s. You hit a peak and then you start slowly declining year after year
Yeah.
after year. By the time you're 50, you have lower testosterone than you did when you were younger. Now, you could argue, yeah, maybe he wasn't really training that much back then, and now he trains like a madman. Sure, you could argue that. Still not really going to
But
make.
it strikes me though, like particularly for a role like that, not so much with Thor, for example, but with a role like his, which involves also a lot of gymnastics, a lot of mobility work. You can't just be lifting, 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 lifting
Yeah.
while you're learning lines, while you're doing everything else that you have to do, while you're training to do the fight scenes. You know, it's
Yep.
it's you'd be burning off a lot of the muscle that you're putting on,
Yeah, exactly. Right.
or at least really making it very sinewy and less dense. We'll put it that way.
Yeah. No, and you make a great point there, right? I mean, sure, guys like Hemsworth, they bulk up for a scene.
Yeah.
And, but again, I mean, really, Yes, I know this is edited. I know that's been confirmed. That's not
Yeah.
even Thor,
I
but
mean, that wasn't his real butt.
yeah. Well, like even come on. I
Yeah.
don't care how great your genetics can be. Like you are taking something because your job requires that of you. You don't the thing that pisses me off is it's just I ate tons of chicken and rice. You know, I was on 6 meals of chicken a day. Okay.
Yeah.
Like that's
The
not
chicken
gonna
had a lot of hormones in it, though.
yeah, exactly. I don't know what was in it. Um, but I get it. Like, why would they admit it? There is no reason for any of these movie stars to say, and I agree with the fact that they deny it. I hate to say it, but like all these athletes, all these people, all these actors and influencers, when they deny it, I would rather the question not be asked. I would rather them just kind of avoid it in whatever way they can. But if they deny it, I totally understand why. Thor is a superhero watched by millions and millions and millions of children around the world. Wolverine is a superhero watched by millions and millions and millions of children around the world.
Yeah.
Fitness influencers.
40-year-old male children.
That's it. Yeah. 25-year-old male children. Um, you have all these people who are being influenced. And if you tell somebody, yeah, I had to take gear to achieve this body, like, plus I had to train for 15 years, plus I had to eat this way, plus train this way, they're only going to hear steroids.
Yeah.
I mean, look at
Yeah.
everybody. Anytime Chris Bumstead, Ian Valair, any of those big bodybuilders in the industry, Larry Wheels, when they say this was what I was doing, I take steroids. You know, I'm on test or something. How much? How much? It
Yeah.
doesn't matter to you.
And everybody forgets about the amount of work. And again, this is not about discussing the amount of work and training that Jackman still had to do.
Of course,
Because I'm sure he put as much work into this as he would in learning new dance routines. He's an excellent
100%.
tap dancer,
And he's an excellent
Uh,
choreographer. He
yeah.
choreographed some of the what's it called? What movie was it where the showman?
Yes. Yes.
But again, it requires a lot of work. We are not denying that. But I will say, when you are taking TRT or the reason you take TRT, and there's so many articles, there is thousands upon thousands of articles and experiences and clinics and all these things that you can go on and you can do studies and you can research all these studies, and it says this is what you should be, or this is maybe why you should be taking it. And this is for men over the age of 35 or 40, or people who are declining, if they have depression, if they have brain fog, if they have fatigue. This might be the drug that you should be taking if you want to feel good in your body again, right? Like you look at this is
Yeah,
it. Like
but
this is
a 17, 18-year-old who wants to have great abs and look good and attract women is still going to want to find out how much he's using
yeah.
and do the same thing.
Well, and this is
No
it, right?
matter
You
what
look at
the
benefits
articles
of
say.
TRT, lacks focus, elevated mood, depression, mental focus, confidence, constant fatigue. But this is the kicker. Look at this transformation. This gentleman is on steroids. Does he look like he's on steroids? No. 99.9% of people, I'm not joking, 99% of people that are taking steroids do not look like they are on steroids. Okay, TRT for the most part is just to get your levels slightly above average or
Yeah.
to an average range because you had very low levels. A lot of guys in their older, as they get older, will take TRT because yes, they're falling off, but they also want that little extra boost of what they felt like when they were hitting puberty or when they were in their early
Yeah.
20s. So they take it. But again, it's not like, oh shit, this guy looks like he's on steroids. You would see this guy walking down the street and it's like, okay, it's a dude who works out maybe 3 to 5 times a week, right? In my past, I have worked with people who have been on enhanced substances or performance enhancing substances. Okay. I can tell you that they had it prescribed from their doctor and it was for a specific reason. I saw their blood tests. It was elevated. It was still showing on their blood tests that they were on something and they were elevated past the normal range. But again, they did it for health reasons, not for getting jacked and looking muscular, yada, yada, yada. And again, like, come on, you could look like this guy and I could say that he just trains and he's been training for a long time.
He's
And
been training well.
but he's on TRT.
Yeah.
Okay. And you go back and you're telling me that Hugh Jackman, who gets paid millions of dollars for this, is not on something to feel good, to feel that extra push to get back to when he was able to train as hard as he was. Because again, like he has to memorize his lines, he has to learn his routines. Whatever he is, when he's training for this movie, he has to be focusing, and obviously he's focusing mostly just on training to get ready for this role. But you still have to be able to recover. TRT is going to help with that.
Yeah. Recovery is everything. Honestly, anything we do in the gym, if we don't recover properly, we don't get the benefit of the training. TRT helps with that.
Oh, main purpose. What is the purpose of testosterone? The main
Sex.
thing. Oh, these are all. There you go. Testosterone is a sex hormone that plays important roles in the body. In men, it regulates your libido, bone mass, fat distribution, muscle and strength, and the production of red cells and sperm.
Red blood cells. Yeah.
It helps with recovery, right? It has the same effect in women, obviously to a lower extent, a much lower extent. But again, you go on here and you see what TRT is for. And I'm not condoning this. 99% of you will not need this in your life ever. But I am saying that, again, you look at these guys, right? And you saw right here, TRT at 25, because we've done research on this in the past. There's 18 to 25-year-olds that are jumping on TRT. You go through any of these Reddit posts, it's bad, man. You got all these guys who are 20, 18, 17, 15 years old that are like, I should be on steroids. I don't have enough testosterone because I did one test and it's on the lower end, but I also eat like shit. I barely train. I don't sleep well. I'm also like in the middle of puberty, but I should definitely be on TRT, right? Like, let's look at this first article. Looking at general health markers. Testosterone panel, signs of low test. He thought he did. Yada, yada, yada. It came back 360 NGL DL or NGDL. Lower average, but it's still slightly above like the cutoff.
Yeah.
He says he has the optimal lifestyle. And everybody on here is like, do it, do it, do it, right? They're all saying do it because they all love their test. I'm looking at this. I'm like, realistically, how optimal? Are you getting enough sleep? Are you training hard? Are you eating well enough? If like you look through everything in your lifestyle and it's still like this, and you notice that you have really bad depression, you have bad mood, you have brain fog, fatigue, then yeah, talk to your doctor or somebody who is not the internet, somebody with actual
Or the
knowledge.
dude at the gym.
Come on. Like, why are you going to the internet? Because everybody on the internet is going to say, yeah, do it.
Yeah.
Whereas at 25 years old, if you were doing test, any sort of steroid, TRT, and keep in mind, TRT, the purpose of TRT is to replace testosterone for good, typically. Realistically, that is its intended purpose, is because you can't produce enough, so you have to be on this drug to extend the life of testosterone in your body or whatever, you want to call it. So if you're starting at 25, are you going to be on it until you die? Are you comfortable with that?
That's a possibility.
Are you comfortable with maybe never having kids because you shut down your natural presence? And yes, argument, HCG, but come on, guys. Like, I don't care how good your argument is. You're playing with fire when you are taking any drug. I don't care how well you think that alcohol is researched and it's everybody does it. Marijuana, nicotine, when you're smoking a cigarette, steroids, heroin, just throw a bad one in there just so we can compare. Yeah. Obviously, yes, some are worse than others. Nonetheless, it is still a drug and it still has effect on your body when you take it.
So don't listen to dicks. Don't look at the internet and look at pictures of what you want to have and decide that that's it. I mean, what I say to clients who want to talk about it, I'll talk about it. But I'm going to say, let's make sure everything else is optimized. And then if you're not getting the results you want, then you can talk to your doctor about it.
Yeah.
But as far as I'm concerned, if you're not looking at what you're eating, if you're not measuring how much you're sleeping and worried about the quality of the sleep and all those things, then You're not optimizing anything. You just think that you're going to find a pill, essentially, that's going to fix things for you and make it all better. I don't work out enough, but if I do this, I'll look like I do.
Yeah.
Except you won't.
No.
It doesn't work that way.
Nope.
So,
That's it. I like how we got off topic there, but it's a good topic to go
well,
off.
I mean,
It's still on topic.
yeah.
I mean, that's what we did want to talk about for the most part. Hugh Jackman was just the way to stick our noses into the good stuff, but that's it, guys. You can't look at these people and believe everything they say because typically it's not the truth, but it is not the truth for a specific reason. Don't be ignorant, but don't be ignorant. Don't be ignorant to the fact that these people are getting paid millions of dollars. They have contracts, they have whatever they need to do. They're not trying to influence a mass group of people to take this drug. But also, don't be ignorant to the fact that you shouldn't be taking this drug, even if you knew that.
Let's make something clear too. Who makes the Marvel movies now?
Disney,
Does Disney want anyone to think that they are getting their actors to go on steroids?
right?
So there is probably an NDA attached to their contract
Oh
that they
yeah.
are not supposed to ever talk about it.
I mean,
Everything was just chicken and rice.
I mean, how many times I boxing is the funniest thing because their drug tests 90% of the time are voluntary. And even if they aren't voluntary, oh, let me just text Walter really quick or give him a call. Oh, hey Walter, I know you got a fight coming up in 3 weeks. We're gonna test you probably on Tuesday, so make sure you don't do anything that day, if you know what I mean. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And I'm using boxing as the scapegoat here, but I could use any sport for the
Any
purpose.
sport. Yeah.
Right? They usually know when these tests are coming. They usually know what the tests are going to be for. If they don't know when they're coming, they at least know what is being tested. And the unlucky chance that you are dumb enough to not clear your system out beforehand, aka boxing, Connor Ben just had this happen where he was popped for Clomid, where that obviously was his post-cycle therapy from testosterone.
Yeah.
Or whatever he was taking. Yeah, I mean, come on. Like, how dumb can you be? Like you
How
can
many
get
hits to the
away,
head?
you can get away with it so easily. I'm pretty sure I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure there are certain sports associations that when you get injured, or if you deal with injury, you are allowed a certain amount of testosterone replacement therapy a week to actually help with recovery. Again,
That's logical.
I cannot cite that. I cannot actually remember where that came from. The reason I am actually saying that is not to throw a blasphemous claim out there. It is because logically that makes sense to me. You have multi-million dollar players in the NFL, NBA, NHL, MLB, whatever you want. You want them healthy. You want them. How does an NFL linebacker come back from a massive ACL injury within 3 to 6 months?
Yeah.
That's unheard of for anybody else, especially for a guy that's over 300 pounds.
It ain't just ice.
No.
I mean, but when you think about it medically, the use of steroids, others, not testosterone, but I mean, I'm doing steroids now. I have a nasal spray that contains steroids.
Yeah.
So if you're going to use steroids for that purpose, and you know that the test is going to help you to heal, recover from your injury,
Yeah.
why would your doctor not use that? That is only logical.
Well, when I had my asthma, I had 2 puffers. I had an exercise induced puffer and just one I took every morning. It was steroids.
Yeah.
I mean, you have topical steroids for your skin.
So how's that different?
We could
Besides
go into a whole
injection.
other, yeah. We could go into a whole other podcast about that. But no, you make a very good point, right? At the end of the day, remember what position these people are in. They have a team behind them, and they are doing it for a specific reason for a lot of money. If I was getting paid $50 million to star in a movie and I had to look my absolute best, You bet your ass I'd be jumping on something.
Or if you're playing football, or if you're playing basketball, or blah, blah, blah,
Anything,
blah.
man. Like,
Right.
yeah. Why wouldn't you? I mean, it's logical to me. Think about it this way. You may not be the most genetic or skilled player, but you were able to make it through high school and get drafted, or you get a scholarship into college, and you still weren't necessarily genetically the best. And high school was rough. You made it to the collegiate level, but you really got to start working. Then you notice that these guys are 40 pounds heavier than you in the same position you play. They're benching 200 pounds more than you. They're able to run faster than you. You start getting in your head and you're like, what can I do? How are they doing this? They could be the genetic elite, the 0.001% doing absolutely nothing and they just God-given gifts. Probably not.
Or they started earlier.
Or they started earlier, and genetics. But you look at these guys and you're like, oh, shit, what do I do? How? And that's the mentality. Your job as an athlete is to be the very best. It is to push yourself to the limit to be the best and win the competition, whatever that competition is. You're telling me that these guys are not looking young ages to be like, that's how I'm going to become even better.
Yeah.
I'm good now, but if I took that, I'd be even better. I mean, it's logical. Can't blame them for it. That's the way that the world works. But you can't be ignorant to the fact that they're doing it. And rant.
That's it. End of rant. Okay.
Agree with
That's
us,
good.
don't agree with us. We would love to hear what you guys have to say.
Please.
You know where to find us. Yell at us in the comments if you want. If you don't agree, if you think that these celebrities can never do anything wrong, let us know. We'd be happy to hear
Listen,
that.
I would love to think that of them, but you know, I've known enough horrible stories about movie stars throughout the years. So I just want to, you know, we can handle having haters. That'd be great.
I want
Um,
some.
yeah. So talk to us.
Yeah. Can somebody, if you're a fan watching this, become a hater, please, just so we could actually have one. We'll feel we've made it once we've hit that one.
Yeah.
Awesome, guys. That's it.
Controversy.
That's all. Yeah, exactly. Controversy.
Yeah.
That's all we got for you today, guys. You know where to find us. Ask us questions. Send us some comments. Let us know if you want us to cover anything. As
Yes.
always, stay safe.
Stay breezy.
Take care, guys.